Hello everyone, welcome back to another Shadow Fight Arena video. Today I will be going over how to play Shang as it's been highly requested. This guide will cover his identity as a character, attacks, combos, a general game plan, and recommended talents. The main goal of this video is for beginner to mid-range Shang players to learn and refine their techniques, to hopefully become more masterful of him. For your convenience, I have added chapters so you can navigate as needed. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. To start, let's talk about who Shang is. Shang is a dynasty character that specializes in long, flexible combos, which are facilitated by his long-range pokes and high shadow gain. He is extremely reliant on accessing his shadow energy, as most of his game plan outside of shadow form is to simply build it up. Moving on to his moveset, I won't talk about his entire moveset, but I will talk about his key normal and shadow moves. Here are also some terms to know in general, so you don't get too confused. Starting with basic attack, this is your fastest poke tool, being able to push out opponents in the mid-range while being unpunishable. It can be cancelled on each of its hits, making it a great move to mix up the opponent and get some distance. It is also great to bait a camping opponent, as it can reach very far and has great recovery on cancel, even if you whiff. Special attack is your go-to option if the opponent is further away. It's fairly fast and has many hits that can be cancelled, while also being unpunishable. Its main usage is to generate a large amount of shadow energy on block, so don't be scared to use this move even if it isn't successful. Do be warned, using this up close can be a little risky, as it is outsped by many kicks. Additionally, this move is quite weak to attacks that hit lower. Low attack is your lower counterpart to special attack. It is roughly the same speed, though it hits low, which can be used to catch some opponents off guard if they try to predict a special attack, and do a low hitting attack to counter. Additionally, it can be cancelled numerous times with decent recovery. It is confirmed after grabs, though not preferred. Back attack is Shang's pseudo parry move, allowing him to step back a bit to counter some attacks. Uses up close or in corners and mixed with kick attacks to catch the opponent off guard. Be warned though, it can be punished hard on the last and second hit, so make sure not to spam it too much or just cancel on the first or third hit. Upper attack is one of your most useful options, believe it or not. It's your preferred grab follow-up and generates a lot of shadow energy. While it is slightly punishable up close and far away, in the middle range it is one of your strongest poke tools. Additionally, it's also an amazing anti-air, as easy to do, and you get some nice follow-up afterwards, such as his heavy attack. Speaking of, heavy attack is Shang's bread and butter combo extender. Not only does it do great damage, but it can also lead into many other moves, such as a basic kick or a shadow move, depending on the distance. As an extender, it also has many moves that lead into it, such as knocking the opponent out of the air with an upper attack, a critical hit, or after shadow moves. Do note, using this move without it being confirmed can lead to a nasty grab punish, so use sparingly. As Shang is a dynasty character, he has access to the dynasty basic kick, and it is one of the most valuable tools in his kit. As a primarily mid to long range character, having a fast, close range option means that he can effectively have an option for every range. Use this in neutral if the opponent wants to get close, or in corners, or in combos to extend them. The Dynasty low kick, while not a combo tool, is great against characters that are weak to lower attacks, like Kate, King of the Legion, Kibo, and Gideon. Shang also has a special kick, the cartwheel or bicycle kick. This can be used after grab to start some nasty mix-ups when you have a full shadow bar, and it can confirm some of his shadow moves, though it's inconsistent. Moving on to his shadow moves, Shang's forward shadow move, called Whirlwind, is one of his most useful tools, arguably his most. It's a fast move that knocks the opponent down at the end, making it simultaneously a combo starter and extender. Commonly, it is used either as a punishing tool or against an unsuspecting opponent, but it can also be confirmed by a strong attack after an anti-air, or by doing grab into cartwheel in a corner. After they're knocked down, you can chain heavy attack. In the corner, make sure to either wait or take a step back before doing the heavy attack, as it may lead to you getting trapped in the corner yourself. In addition, if you're in the corner and did the heavy attack, you can chain a basic kick after this combo in the corner and then another one. The second set of basic kicks aren't confirmed, but your opponent shouldn't have any moves fast enough to interrupt, so they are essentially forced to block. Down Shadow is essentially a big fuck you button. Its fast startup and initial ducking animation make it a fast getaway option if Shang has nothing better to do in a scenario to keep up pressure, or if he's in a sticky situation. Additionally, it can be used at the end of combos if you have a slight amount of shadow energy left and the opponent is close by. Arrow Rain is a combo extender and a niche combo starter. While it can chain after eruption, I will talk about it in two other, more confirmed applications. If your opponent is camping or quite far away, using arrow rain can catch them off guard, and you can chain a diagonal jump kick right after. If they get rolled back, you can confirm whirlwind and go into the previously discussed combo. Sometimes, opponents will roll forward to make themselves ragdoll on the floor, in which case you'll simply do upper attack and chain whirlwind instead, doing the same combo. The second use case is if, after you anti-air, they are simply too far away to chain heavy attack. In this case, you can use arrow rain to trigger them to roll back, leading to a soul grip. Speaking of, the back shadow, called soul grip, is a combo extender that leads to the opponent being stunned and brought towards you. While it's hard to hit before getting his 5th talent, it is useful in the combo we just discussed, as you can do a basic kick cancel and confirm whirlwind this way. I hope by this point you can see just how flexible Shang's combos are. When learning Shang, it's much better to learn smaller, bread and butter combo strings instead of memorizing them, as after understanding the logic and interactions of each move, you can simply make strings on the fly relatively easily. I recommend going through and replaying this section of the video to get a real understanding of what shadow moves go into what. By the way guys, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me out a lot, especially with knowing what type of videos you guys prefer in the future, so I can make more of those, and who doesn't want you guys to be entertained? So yeah, consider subscribing. If you want to be more verbal with your support, leave a comment and like the video, but I won't waste too much of your time. Let's just get back into it. Moving on to his game plan, like I briefly said before, Shang aims to get into shadow form as often as possible. To accomplish this, he will push the opponent away with long-range attacks on block, aiming to get as much shadow energy as possible while pushing them towards the corner. Once you've filled your shadow bar, this is where your pressure game starts. Pressure? Oh yeah, I'll explain that too real quick. Imagine it's the middle of the night. Somebody suddenly gets behind you and pulls their gun out, asking for your money. In this scenario, God forbid, you're probably scared, and will most likely opt to hand your money over. But why though? Well, obviously, right? Because they have a gun that could kill you. But they haven't fired it yet. For all you know, he will never fire it. But you can't take that risk, and you will act under the implication that they will shoot you if you don't comply. This is the essence of pressure. It is a mind game that occurs when you have a potential threat, like a shadow move, a block break, or some other ability that warrants counterplay. And as the cost for not playing around it could be fatal, people will often play differently out of the fear of that threat being used. Chances are, you knew what this was, but you didn't properly conceptualize it. For example, when Ling gets his slashing strike, and you play more passively as a result, or use faster moves up close, that is Ling pressuring you with his slashing strike. Now that we have discussed what pressure is, let's apply it to Shang. Shang's greatest strength is how deceptively easy it is to dodge his shadow moves. Many opponents, feeling pressured, will attempt various things to avoid your shadow moves. Via playing mind games, you can use different shadow moves based on the opponent's reactions to your pressure. Most commonly, opponents will try to jump over you, attempting to dodge whirlwind. Depending on how far they are with the jump, they'll either jump and land in front of you or behind you. If you can see that they're most likely going to jump in front of or on you, use an upper attack to anti-air, then follow with a strong attack, and then go into whirlwind to do your combo. If they go over you, simply wait until they are over you, and then activate whirlwind to do your combo. Sometimes, opponents will try to camp and stay away from you at all costs. In this case, do what I said before. Start with arrow rain, chain diagonal jump kick, and either up into heavy attack or straight into whirlwind, depending on their reaction. If you're in the corner and don't have any good follow-up, you can use eruption as a pressure tool, slowly walking towards them after activation. Due to the nature of whirlwind, opponents will be forced to make a decision. If they stand up, they will most likely try to jump after, so you can anti-air them and start a combo. If they roll forward, just do whirlwind and go into a corner combo. If they roll back, either do soul grip or activate whirlwind. If you're confident, you can use the soul grip in corners to mix up your opponent, especially in combos like the whirlwind corner combo. But we'll get more into that later when it's in much more of a confirmed application. Now let's move on to his talents, now that you know how to play him. Scourge Arrow is a niche combo starter and much more a combo extender that you use at the end of corner combos. It allows you to reset the damage reduction system and gain more shadow energy. Though, without the 5th talent, it really isn't worth considering, as most of the time you cannot confirm it unless you catch your opponent off guard. On the other hand, shadow consumption allows Shang to make up for his low health by getting a very consistent healing source, making him survive much longer. Additionally, it gives you a good reward for using shadow form frequently, as that's how we discussed Shang is played best. Overall, I will recommend using this talent heavily over Scourge Arrow. These talents come down to preference. Finale is an afterlife perk that allows you to get some momentum at the brink of death, especially if your opponent is near dead or you're just getting destroyed and need a chance to deal damage. On the other hand, Genesis allows you to start your pressure game without even doing anything, confirming your shadow bar gets full. This can be extremely helpful, as even if the round goes on a little further, the opponent could gather resources to get something that can mess up your shadow form. As such, by activating your main ability as soon as possible, you can ensure starting the game off on the right foot. While both talents definitely have their strong suits, I will recommend Genesis purely because you can get used to consistently using your shadow form. It could also be argued that by doing this, you drastically reduce the chances of you getting destroyed in a way that you need the emergency momentum from Shadow Finale. Additionally, there are many ways for heroes to play and calculate for it as they know it's coming, while Genesis is fully automatic. This is another talent line that comes down to preference. Weak points drastically increases Shang's damage output, making him do great damage on combos, especially in 3v3. Additionally, with the new changes to the shadow form, they accumulate very quickly, allowing you to access high damage very soon. On the other hand, Gloom Explosion is one of the greatest insurance talents in the entire game. 90% of the time, it saves you from terrible situations where you may get punished hard for risking too much in shadow form. And inversely, you can afford to risk a lot in shadow form, with the comfort that Gloom Explosion will mostly save you. While currently Weak Points is a better talent, learning Shang by using Gloom Explosion can help a lot with learning how he functions as a character, as you can afford to try new and unpredictable things with less risk. Well, not much to say here. These two perks don't change gameplay a whole lot past what you could assume. They're both good, but Shadow Suppression obviously makes you gain way more shadow energy, especially on those special and low attacks, so pick that. These next two talents, in my opinion, are the closest in the game in terms of strengths. First off, we have Dragon, which makes it so that your Whirlwind has an extra hit and your Soul Grip is larger, along with hitting everything at the end of its travel, meaning that you cannot escape it once you roll forward. And in corners, even this isn't possible. This gives you access to a range of enhanced follow-up options. After a midfield Whirlwind, you can swap out the previously discussed Heavy Attack for Arrow Rain. Now, when you do Arrow Rain, you can confirm Soul Grip off of them rolling back, lying down, or rolling forward. The only way to dodge it is if they ragdoll, which you can still get a Heavy Attack off of. Additionally, if you do a Whirlwind in the corner, you can now follow up with a basic kick, and then go into Soul Grip. Afterwards, you could either chain Special Attack, wait to throw, although this may be a hard timing, use a Scourge Arrow if you're using it, then do a Special Attack, or quickly do a Heavy Kick and then follow with Basic Kick or Eruption. If you want to play Dragon, you should familiarize yourself with these timings. Viper, on the other hand, leans more towards the pressure side of Shang. Its strength comes from solidifying Shang's pressure game to the point where, at any range, Shang has a great option to use. At close range, now Eruption is an ultra-fast option that works in nearly any scenario, even in situations where you should be at a disadvantage. At longer ranges, Arrow Rain becomes nigh unreactable unless predicted. If it's followed by a roll forward, you can do a Whirlwind and catch them. If they preemptively rolled forward, you can still hit them with Eruption. In mid-range, Shang still has Whirlwind as a great option. Viper essentially forces the opponent to play by your rules and punishes them for not doing so. In essence, the difference between Dragon and Viper is that while Dragon can do more, in higher ranks where opponents may be harder to predict, it's overall much better to have Viper's fast options to accomplish stuff more consistently. Albeit, whenever you do get going with Dragon, you'll be accomplishing much more overall. I recommend using Dragon as a beginner, as Viper is significantly harder to get consistent results with if you don't fully understand Shang's pressure game. Also, you feel cooler. Additionally, here's a tier list of his weapons. Just use what you can. Before I end the video, let's talk about some matchups. Against Azuma, check if they have the following. One thing that you should note is that due to Shang's Shadow Protection ability, Shang takes no damage from the Shadow Knockout. This means that as you heal for every Shadow form, it's actually more advantageous to enter Shadow form sometimes, as Azuma's only real follow-up most times will be his forward Shadow move. The degree of this depends on whether they have those following things. If they have Shadow Suppression, that means it is overall better to enter Shadow form, as you'll be taking more damage by holding onto it. If they don't, lean towards saving it as there's no risk to keeping it. If they have the epic weapon, they'll heal much more than you with knockout, so unless they don't have Shadow Suppression, stay outside of Shadow form, and use low attacks and kicks to keep Azuma at bay. Shang's advantage is his speed against Azuma. Suppressing Explosion is common on most Azumas, but if they somehow don't have it, just enter Shadow form. Against Ironclad in 3v3, you don't want to give him a bunch of stubbornness charges, as they may hurt your next hero quite a bit if you lose. Instead, use heavy hitting attacks like Upper and Heavy Attack, along with Heavy Kick. In Shadow form, only use Eruption and Soul Grip. Past that, utilize Uppers and Heavy Attack once again, hoping they will make dumb mistakes from being pressured by Shadow moves. In Shadow form, all of your attacks deal Shadow damage, so you'll deal more damage to Ironclad this way while giving him fewer stubbornness charges. That's it for the end of the video. I will be in the comments for quite a bit after this video is uploaded to clarify anything if you guys need. Past that, as I said before, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel. And past that, I don't want to keep you guys here for any longer. Please let me know if this helped you out a lot. You know, I might come up with more guys in the future. But past that, thank you guys for watching and have a good day, night, or afternoon. Bye.